All right, let's talk about matrices. So a matrix and matrices is plural for matrix. Let me just, so I think matrices is sometimes commonly accepted, or is accepted as a plural as well. But matrices is, I think, the more widely accepted option. So it's any rectangular array of variables or constants in horizontal rows and vertical columns. So it's basically a collection of numbers of variables in an arranged type of way, in a structured type of way. So I drew out some examples here. So here's a 3x2 matrix. So in this matrix, you have 3 rows, right? 1, 2, 3, and 2 columns, 1, 2, right? And so once again, the rows are horizontal and the columns are vertical, right? And so when you state the dimensions, so these are the dimensions of a matrix, you start with the row, then the column. So it's row by column. Okay, or you can a lot of times use the multiplication symbol for the by part. So 3x2, that's how you usually see them. 3x2, that means it's 3 rows, 2 columns. Okay, but the way you say it is like that, 3x2. Okay, so here's a 1x4 with variables in it, right? A, B, X, Y. So and then you have here a 1x5, and then this is actually a transpose. I want to show you just what transposition of a matrix looks like, but it's a transpose version of this matrix, right? The rows and the columns are flipped. So instead of 2, 4 being the first row, 2, 4 is the first column. 3, -1 the second row, now it's a second column. 0, 5 was the third row, now it's a third column, okay? So that's what a transpose matrix looks like, and that's a 2x3, and this is a 3x2, right? So you can see when you transpose it, the rows and the columns switch, so the dimensions switch, right? Okay, now one other thing is that each element in a matrix has a position, right? So that's one cool thing about a matrix is each element has a position. So this position is row 1, column 1. So you'd say 1, 1, right? So sometimes you'll say like A1, 1. Okay, and then for element 1, 1. And then this would be A1, 2, right? So row 1, column 2, row 1, column 2. So they kind of have their own little addresses, right? And then you'd have A21 and A22 and A31 and A32 and so forth and so on. Okay, so you can always say, like, you know, this element, you can describe an element by its position and by its, you know, or if you will, by its address, because sometimes you have a lot of the same elements, right? So you can't say just the 7, because which 7 are you talking about, right? So you may have to use that position. You know, the 7, that is the 1, 5 position, right? And that would be the 7, right? Row, or excuse me, the 1 or the 5, 1 position, which would be row 5, column 1. This would be 4 or 3, 1, excuse me, and so forth. Okay.